Welcome to Plantique 101. My name's Suzy, and today I want to start a series of Houseplant Basics. I've had several people come up to me and make comments about my plants and say, I want to get a houseplant. Where do I start? So this week's series, we're going to start with lighting. Very apropos that I'm sitting here directly in the morning light coming in my window. So we're going to talk about the lighting that the sun gives, artificial light, where you can place things in your house, what it means to be direct and indirect light. So we're going to talk all about those so you have a better idea for next week when we go out and buy a plant. Let's get started with the lighting.
Hey, everybody, it's SuzyQue.
I'm sure everybody knows, but I'm just going to go over a brief overview. The photosynthesis that happens for plants, I'm not a biology teacher by any stretch of the imagination, but there's like 3 key ingredients needed for plants to thrive. We're going to need light, water, and carbon dioxide. That light energy that's coming in, the plant's going to be able to take that along with the water and carbon dioxide and change it into the energy and food that they need. Most all the action that takes place with the photosynthesis is going to be taking place in the leaves. The leaves are going to be absorbing the carbon dioxide, the light energy, the water is going to be coming from the root. All of these are needed in order to have your plant thrive. And not all plants photosynthesize, and we'll talk about that later on in the series. But in order for most plants to photosynthesize, they need the light energy, which is what we're going to talk about today. So you want to get a house plant? Well, you're going to have to kind of have a good idea of what lighting do you have. Natural lighting is free, so let's go with the natural lighting first. So let's look at the natural lighting you have in your house. Let's say I'm sitting here and the sun rises in the east at my right hand, sets in the west on my left. Directly in front of me is going to be a north-facing window. There's a north-facing window. It's going to probably be your least amount of light coming through to your house. And for the same fact, if it's rising in the east, setting in the west, directly behind you would be a southern-facing window. So that's going to have most of your lighting. If you're going to make a greenhouse or build a greenhouse, you would want it to get southern-facing exposure. That's for sure, because you'll get rising in the east. Even in the winter, as it's coming across, not directly overhead, it's still getting all that sun, and then setting down as it goes down. So that's going to be the most light. This room happens to be southern-facing window. So not only can I have plants in the southern-facing window, I can have plants anywhere in this room. It's going to get bright light throughout the day. Most of the plants that we're going to be talking about in the beginner series is indirect lighting. So look around your house, determine where your light's coming from, or observe it for a week and see how much light are you getting. Is it directly in the morning, afternoon? You can see I can tell when the sun is coming in all afternoon, that wall is getting a lot of light. So I can put plants all the way on the other side of the room on that wall and still got lots of light in this room. So look around. There's also a house back here and a shed, somebody else's, which blocks some of my sun. So I can see during the hottest part of the day, that sun isn't coming. Hi, baby. We're talking about lighting. Sophie likes lighting. Don't you, babe? I know. She's got some plants inside her cage too. Plants and flowers. But she's got a UVB and a UVA light, fake lighting, that shines on through. So get a good idea of where your lighting is. If you want to know decent indirect light, you can always do the book test. Open a book. Is it a spot where you could sit down and read comfortably? Or is it a little too dark? If it's a little too dark, we're talking lower light. You might need some artificial help there. But bright light, if I could sit in this room during the day, morning, noon, and early evening, and read a book. No problems. So this room gets the most light. I also have a couple windows, an eastern facing eastern facing windows. So normally the sun would come up over the east, and this would all be bright, direct sun all morning long. And all morning long until the sun gets here. But because it's winter and we're already into daylight savings time, the sun is now pointing this way at this time, and it's behind houses already. And there will be no more direct sun in this morning room at this point forward. And it's only 9 o'clock in the morning. But as you can see, there is indirect light coming through this window. But the sun will change throughout the year. This shelf looks very different in the spring and summer. Now I have a bathroom, back bedroom, and a back closet that has all northern facing windows. I could not read a book in any one of those rooms without artificial light. The light that does come in the window, or that should come in the window, is blocked out by other houses. So I take all that into consideration. I don't have a lot of plants back there unless I have some artificial light. And I do. I have a small growing station set up with grow lights and some of my special cuttings. So now that you're kind of oriented in what lighting you have. So let's say you don't have any natural light in your house or enough. Don't worry about it, because there's some artificial grow lights that we can use to get you started with a plant. Let's take a look at some of those that I have growing in the very dark areas of my house. So now back here, it's an extra bird cage that I have. What I've done is added a little help with a grow light up on top of the bird cage, shining down. These plants now get plenty of light. Just put a little plastic tablecloth around the edges so when I mist it, I don't get everything wet, and it helps hold in the humidity. Okay, I'm down here in my basement that has 0 lights. I should say that has 0 natural lights, but I am starting a living wall. I have some artificial grow lights, one up in the ceiling, if you can see that. Another one hanging down a little lower. Lots of humidity because I'm in the fish room. But so you can see that I've got my plants are growing and thriving, and there's no natural lights. So it's still possible to do. Here's another flower box of pothos that I have underneath artificial light. Here's another alternative to not having a window is I have a grow light here. I've got a terrarium here that has a grow light on top of it for some more high humid plants. So there are alternatives if you don't have a window. And that you have a good idea of what the lighting is, how much light that you have, now we can go into the store and get a good beginner plant. Before we get that plant, here's my philosophy. You can take it or leave it. This is just me. It's my philosophy. It's my channel. I get to spout my philosophy. Plants give me a lot of enjoyment. I don't fret over a yellowing leaf or a leaf that's not perfect, that may have been damaged. I enjoy plants. Plants enhance my life. I don't want to stress over them. I don't have any very expensive plants. Mine are all very common house plants, and I absolutely love it. I'm not out to win a beauty garden contest. I'm just sharing my experience and how plants have enhanced my life and how I do it. So all plants are going to be like humans. They're all imperfect in their own way. You're not going to find a plant that's got perfect leaves every time, or if you find that plant that you just love, that it's green and yellow and back and forth, and you get it home and the next leaf comes in all green, or a part of the leaf breaks off, or a bird chews some of that leaf. Yeah, I'm not going to fret over that, because that doesn't help with the journey that I'm on, where where this is an enjoyable, relaxing, enhancing hobby. I don't fret over it. I don't hover over them. I don't fret over them. I enjoy them as is. And I do the best I can. I don't beat myself up. Trust me, there's enough things in life to fit into that category. It's not going to be my houseplants. So now that you have a better understanding of the lighting and how the sun works through the different seasons in different parts of the country, the artificial lights that we can use, the direct and indirect light, we are going to focus on the areas of your house that you might want to keep a plant that has indirect and bright light. So remember, if you got sun shining in the window, a couple feet back, a table that's a couple feet back from the window, look around your house, see if you have the spot. Go ahead, I'll wait. Find your spot. Now that you have a better idea of where in your house you're going to keep the plant and how much light that spot gets, let's get ready to go shopping. Next week, we're going to go out and get a plant. Thanks, guys. So I will see you next week.
Hey, everybody, it's SuzyQue. Hey, everybody, it's SuzyQue. Nah, hey, everybody, it's SuzyQue. So come along with me. Said I'm SuzyQue.